right, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Welcome back to Unbroken Arrows. It's been a hot minute since...
It's been a long time.
I've been here. You've posted one in September, but I don't think I've been on one for 5 months, 6 months.
At least.
Yeah.
I think April or May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so backstory. I texted Greg the other day, and I was like, listen, I've got a great idea for a podcast. No, actually, what I think I said was, we should do another podcast. I'll think of a great idea. And about 5 seconds later, I was like, I have a great idea. We're going to just call this Catherine's ADHD episode because it is kind of all over the place. I did somewhat format it so we go in what seems to be a consecutive order, but I want you to know that I didn't think of these ideas in this order. It was very all over the place.
And I have no idea what's
Greg
going on.
has no idea.
None.
I didn't tell him, so he's got no idea. So, let's just start.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing well, Catherine. How are you?
I'm great. All right, let's jump into it. Mom's she's watching us from back here.
Yeah,
by the way, first episode that we are video recording, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah. But, all right.
That's what do they say? I have a face for radio.
Face for radio.
So,
that's all right. I can be the face.
Podcast.
Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Have to
I'm
agree.
like hiding behind my little microphone box. So, as a biology teacher, what was your favorite subject to study?
To study or to teach?
Let's do both. To study.
Boy, to teach, I'd have to say. Well, I'm gonna start.
We'll go back. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go back to studying. To teach, there were multiple things. I think genetics is fascinating to me. So I suppose that was also something that was, in terms of learning it, was also quite fascinating. But I'm going to jump around because back in college and doing those kinds of things in the classroom, labs were great, lectures, but out in the field, like in the summertime, we were able to the summer classes that I did take. We went to the Valentine National Refuge and camped, and Indian Cave State Park, which is in southeastern Nebraska, and identified plants, animals, collected specimens, prepared them. Doing all of those things was what I thought or what I felt science was all about. And then teaching that when I was at Omaha Burke, then there was a class that my department head had developed called Honor Seminar in Science. And it was a research-based class for the kids. And he brought me on as an additional teacher to that. And so you taught research to kids from, the ground up. And then they had to present their original research at science and engineering fairs like the Metro Science and Engineering Fair, the Nebraska Science and Engineering Fair, the Junior Academy in Sciences, and those kinds of things. So those were probably the things that I...
hands-on.
It is hands-on. And in that class, we also would tie them... not tie them, connect them.
There you go. Good word. Connect.
Connect.
Connect's a good word.
Yep, connect them with people not just from Nebraska, but all over the country, and see if they'd be willing to be a mentor to these students. And so, we had people from the Marine Institute. Good grief. I can't believe I can't remember it now. Anyway, on the East Coast, Boston, and then another one down Mobile, Alabama, Dauphin Island. Your computer just went. Your questions are gone. I guess we're done.
My questions are gone. That's it. That's the end of it.
But anyway, so yeah, cellular biology.
To summarize that. Your favorite to teach was research. Anything research.
Well, genetics, research. The thing about the research part was, the only kids that it was an elective class, upper level elective,
So the only people that
wanted to be there. Yeah, and I taught it also at a zero period, which was at 6:50 in the morning,
Ooh,
and never an attendance issue, never
that
those
sounds
kinds of
painful.
things. And so yeah, that was a lot of fun. But I taught earth science. I love earth science. Just about everything about it. Like to throw out those things like the adiabatic heating rate and those kinds of things. You just like to say
They
those
just make
terms
you
to make
feel smart.
make
Big
you,
words like photosynthesis.
Yeah.
It's my big word of the day. Actually, we'll get to this, but my big word of the day is Neanderthal.
Ooh,
But we'll get there.
it's a great book.
Oh, is it a book?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like history book or like fiction?
Historical fiction, I think.
Historical fiction.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
What is one topic that you don't feel like you ever really understood? Is there anything that just kind of always stumped you?
In biology or just in general?
Well, this was for biology, but like, is there like a specific topic, or do you just like in general? Like, I don't understand how planes fly, but that's not biology.
That's lift generated
Yeah,
by
but like,
the
think
winds.
about it. Like, it's a big metal contraption. There's no like reason that it should work the way it does. Oh, Mom's saying no.
She's the math major.
Physics. Anyways, what's one topic? Let's just say in general, one topic you never truly understood. Not to put you on the spot. Nothing. We can keep moving.
Well, no. I mean, can we come back to that? I can't think of anything right now. It's not that I know everything.
Well,
but I'm just.
We might stump you farther along.
Oh boy.
Okay.
This is not.
No, the rest of them aren't really about you.
It's hot.
There's a couple
It's
about
getting hot
you,
in
but
here.
we turn away from the about you stuff here.
Okay.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to like anti-hunting arguments.
Okay.
So one of the main claims is that we should just let nature take its course. Do you think that hunting is a part of that said nature, or do you think it's something else? Because like when I think about this, when I hear that, they're like, oh, like you should just let nature take care of it. Like it'll balance itself out, right? Like that's a main claim. But humans have always hunted.
It's kind of a ridiculous claim, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. It may happen, naturally, but what you're probably going to deal with in that situation is always overpopulation and disease, and so they would, the populations would drop anyway because of those kinds of things. So, yeah. Humans, hunters and gatherers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And hunters is, pretty important to that equation. Yeah.
I agree.
So.
I agree. Another anti-hunting argument is, and I quote from treehugger.com, hunters out for trophies such as elk and deer with large racks are killing the strongest and healthiest of the species, which leaves a permanent consequence for the species as a whole. Do you think there's any truth to this statement?
Show me, other than the fact that, you can make the assumption that a animal with large antlers is healthy, but is that true 100% of the time?
Yes, I agree. My big thing where my brain went immediately when I saw that was like these mature animals have already passed down their genetics. Mm-hmm. Like it's not like you're taking this great genetic out of the gene pool. Like they're still there.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. But again, I don't think that the
size of the antler.
Okay, two things. One, I'm not, and we've talked about this before. I'm fine with getting a doe permit.
Right, you're not
with
a trophy
anything.
hunter.
I'm not a trophy hunter, and if I have a mount, it's going to be a Euro mount, or if we want to go with the meat eater, the American mount, or that's what they call it. So that's kind of a non-issue to me, and I think there are other people like me that feel that way. But I had a point, something that I thought of there that was going along with that. Gene pool, very much on point with that argument, I think, your point. And then I love it when I make you uncomfortable. You're like, what's he going to say?
I know. I'm like, what's going to
this
happen
is dead
here?
air here.
What's going to happen? We're supposed to be talking.
Yeah. Hunting. Good grief. How can that just leave me so quickly?
Do you think of anything you don't quite understand yet?
Yeah, my brain.
Well,
anyway.
like, going on with the whole, like, you're a meat eater, right? Like, you are out there for the meat.
Right.
What's your favorite wild game meat? And, like, if you had to choose one that you could only eat for the rest of your life?
Oh, if I could. I haven't had everything prepared the way I would like to prepare it yet, so, that's not a fair question.
This is a theoretical question, Greg.
I understand that, but I mean, I've had wild turkey that's, delicious, and I've had wild turkey that's dry as cardboard.
Like, if you could prepare it any way you want.
I've never had elk backstrap. Deer backstrap is, reverse seared is awful darn good.
It is pretty good.
But I'm telling you that probably one of the favorite things is, you have some of that ground elk, which I prepared tonight, actually.
I know.
But that is delicious. So I would like to, at some point in time, maybe harvest an elk and try all the different.
You should put in for a leftover tag if you're not busy in October. You can go out and shoot a cow.
Busy. I'm not busy in October.
Oh, wait. Are you guys gone in October?
Yeah.
Oops.
For a little while.
Just for a little bit.
Yep.
Speaking of, like, hunters and gatherers and all of that, I'm really good at these transitions.
And humble, too.
Yeah, of course, obviously. I'd really like to talk about these ancient humans for a second, because I have had, like, this huge breakthrough, and I learned something, and you probably already know it, but Mom might not. Not to be, like, mean to Mom. I'm sorry, that sounded really bad.
But if you're gonna,
Greg knows it, but Mom doesn't.
But you're going to talk about the...
Neanderthals.
There you go.
I know.
Yeah,
I've been listening to podcasts. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, I learned that like 40,000 to like 60,000 years ago, there was like living at the same time multiple human species. Did you know this?
Well, variations of such.
Right. Like there was like the Homo sapiens.
Yeah.
There's the Neanderthals. And then there's like this like Desnovian or something. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And they're all lived at the same time. And there's proof that they like interacted with one another. Is this not news to you? Because my mind was blown.
Yeah, it's not news to me, but I don't know of the exact overlap dates, locations, those kinds of things.
Well, I can tell you.
Well, then let's hear it then, because that's not something obviously I've kept up on, but I think that's one of those things that are still kind of a point of contention or a question.
They are. There's definitely some like they don't really know. But they do know that, so Homo sapiens, which is us. Mom, are you interested in this? Are you listening? Because this is interesting.
She's on her phone.
She's not listening.
No.
Okay. Homo sapiens, which is us, which is our species, started in like Africa. Okay. And then like they started to like drift out into the rest of the world.
Africans, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The Neanderthals were more in like the Eurasia, like Russia, Europe, like those areas. And then the like Desnovians were more in like China, Japan, like farther that way. But the big thing is the Neanderthals. So as we started to like drift out, there's actual evidence that the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals were in the same places at the same time. You want to know how they know this? Because almost all non-African people are anywhere from 1% to 2% Neanderthal, because they were able to restructure a Neanderthal genome. And so they can have proof that there was some interbreeding at some point. So, Mom's Mom's going to get really impressed now with my next like moral question. So there's all kinds of other information. I could talk about this for like 15 minutes because I have literally listened to like 5 podcasts in the last like 3 days about this because I've been deep diving.
You told me not to do any research, but you did.
This isn't research. This is just me. I wanted to talk about it because I've been like having a midlife crisis about this.
You're 21?
Sorry, quarter life crisis. I also had this conversation with someone today, and I said midlife crisis. So they're like, "You're 20," and I'm like, "Okay, quarter life crisis."
Yeah.
Okay, so also like small little fact before I go into my moral dilemma. They don't know if they were like peaceful interactions.
Right.
And they don't know like which way it went or if maybe it was peaceful. But they also said that there's 2 options. Basically, the Homo sapiens just like were smarter and better and like outcompeted them for resources or like started war and killed them all off. Or that they just kind of like integrated together. But because there's already so much less diversity of the Neanderthals and they were already kind of like on their way out, they basically just got bred out. So, but there's, again, more points that I could keep going into this because I find this extremely interesting. But my, like, moral dilemma. Okay, so Christians, right? We believe in the Bible. And there's Adam and Eve, which, like, doesn't quite make sense with the whole evolution thing. But, like, Adam and Eve is, like, kind of a story. There's, like, some truth to it, but it's not, like, true. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say. I wonder.
Mom's
what's
not
going
looking
on
at me.
across the hall here.
No.
Yeah.
I'm getting to my point, okay? So then I'm like thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, so at some point, like basically God had to, whatever you want to believe, Big Bang Theory, whatever. God put 2 atoms together, it exploded, became the Earth, and then slowly evolution. And at some point, God was like, okay, these are my people. This is like a human, and then gave them souls, right? Or like. All animals or like all living beings have souls, but like reasonable souls, okay?
Okay.
At what point did those souls happen? Like, was it only Homo sapiens or did Neanderthals, since they were also technically a human species, did they have souls?
I see where you're going.
I'm like...
I like the thought process.
I'm like, at what point did that like change happen? Because we assume by the time that the Bible starts, right? Or not really the time that the Bible starts, but like before Moses, or not Moses, obviously before Moses, before Noah.
As it was being written.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, like it was already all
time,
Homo sapiens, like with a little bit of Neanderthal in us.
Right.
But like, when did that... See, I've been thinking about this for like 3 days, and it's been blowing my mind. And like, there's no way to find an answer until you die. And that's going to be my first question now. When I die, I'm going to be like, God, you got to tell me.
Well,
what's your thoughts?
You know, there are...
Do all human species have souls?
As a teacher of biology, you always have that, maybe you call it a contradiction, but it's one of those things that, like evolution, for example. How can you teach evolution? How can you be Christian? How can you be Catholic and teach evolution? Because, you know, God created man.
Yeah, but like that's not literal. Okay, but the other thing, pause. I'm going to say something.
Well, you got to
time was different back then. So technically it could have been 7 days for God. Like he could have
what's a
Big
day?
Bang Theory, it exploded over 1 million years, that's God's day. Right? And then the next day, like slowly water, So like you can still believe in evolution. You just have to believe it was part of God's plan.
Well, no. No. Okay. Let's get some...
Mom's going to step in here to give us
Let's talk
her
about
thoughts.
Evolution based upon, the origin of species, Charles Darwin, those types of things. When we talk about evolution, we talk about how something, a genome, changes over time. And the people that don't believe in evolution, say that there's really no difference from the beginning till now. Well, we know that's not true.
Right.
I mean, the genomes that, just as you're talking about, with the difference between the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthals. Well, things have changed over time, and just look at the real basic things. What was the world record for the 100-meter dash 100 years ago? Okay, is it faster now than it was back then?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at photos from the early NBA. The Minnesota Lakers, okay, not the Los Angeles Lakers, the Minnesota Lakers, had a giant on their team by the name of George Mikan. 7 foot tall. Now name me a team that doesn't have a 7 foot.
I see where you're going.
You see what I'm saying? That evolution does take place.
Is that evolution?
Change.
Or
That's evolution.
No, pause. Or is it just that there's a bigger population now, so there's more people to pick from?
Evolution. My definition of evolution would be the change of the genome or the change of genetics over time that causes it. There's survival of the fittest. There's,
right.
There are things that are.
I don't know what point you're trying to make here. Now you're just explaining evolution to me.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that's the fight or the debate that is still, that some people have with this. So,
yeah, but you can't really debate that evolution wasn't a thing. Like, we know it was a thing.
There's still some that probably.
There's also people that believe in the flat Earth.
Yeah. What about, aliens?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, why wouldn't there be aliens?
Okay. Just throwing that out there.
What do you think?
Come on. This is one planet, in
Yeah.
one galaxy
Yes.
around billions and billions of stars. What?
I feel like it would be harder for there not to be other living things
I'm
out
not
there.
a gambling man, but come on now.
Yeah,
This is the only place that, but now life as we define it.
Right.
There's could be life on the moon, but we don't define it by, humans.
Right.
So.
No, I agree. I also, there's this book called, I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. I think it's the same kind of thing. It's I don't have enough faith that this one tiny little planet is the only one with living stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, do you have any more comments about the Neanderthals?
Well, just that. Well, that's actually where I was going with that evolution type of thing, because you've got, regardless of whether it's a hominid type species or a species of, I don't know, gecko, pine tree. I've got a pine cone on a coaster here. There are things that we have fossil evidence that no longer exist on Earth. Things have changed. Some things look very similar to things that are no longer here. Dinosaurs. Well,
I was literally going to get to dinosaurs. That was one of my points.
Well, birds.
See, I knew we were going to get there.
Birds are mini dinosaurs, know. So things change over time. Everything changes over time.
Right.
So.
But did Neanderthals have souls? Were they part of the gods' humans?
Great question, Catherine.
It's
what do you
crazy.
think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been thinking about this for days, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I also I really thought a Neanderthal was a Viking. I thought it was just a group of people. I didn't realize that this was a separate thing. And then actually, funny story. It was there's a Steven Ranella when he's on Theo. Do you know who Theo Von is?
I think I've heard the name, but
he's so funny. He has a podcast, and he just throws out the most random things. But
kind of like what you're doing right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steven Ranella was on this podcast, and this is actually how it came up, and I don't remember how, but they started talking about Neanderthals. Actually, it was Steven Ranella had said 40,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, if you came up over a hill and you saw a fire, you would have to wonder what kind of human it was. And I was like, what are you talking about? So then I deep dove. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so then I've just been thinking about this, and reading about it and listening to it for like a long time, and I think I'm going a little bit crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
But
It's nice when things, and that's the nice thing about podcasts, because when you get challenged or you find something that is different, and it piques your curiosity, that's a good way to learn more. You just have to weed through it, just like
figure out.
social media, whether it's truth or.
Last comment about Neanderthals, unless you have anything to add. Joe Rogan is actually 37% more Neanderthal than the average human.
I don't think I'm going to comment on that.
and he claims it himself, like on a video. So that was kind of funny.
The book that I referred to, Neanderthal. It was they, as part of this fictional story, because you don't know for sure, but because brains are different, that's one of the things. The cranium, the brain is different size, and in this particular book, they could basically, for lack of a better way of saying it, read your mind. They didn't communicate verbally because they didn't have to, because their brain was developed in a different way.
Last thing on the soul thing, because of this.
That one wasn't interesting.
No, it was. That's actually like where I'm kind of going with this.
Okay.
So like they claimed for a long time that Homo sapiens were smarter because they supposedly like had better tools, whatever else, could communicate, had like a written communication, and then like also had like some form of art at the time. And for a long time they didn't think Neanderthals did. So that would like go to say that like since they didn't have all of these like communications, they didn't have souls. But they have now learned that they probably did communicate because they hunted in very large groups. So they had to have some sort of communication, and they have found like sketches and like drawings on the wall, like caves and stuff.
Push deer hunt.
Yeah. What?
When they, like out in Pennsylvania, they go through, and I think isn't that called a push?
Oh yeah, when you push deer out.
Yeah. So there's
these were like
there's a wall.
Large animals. These were like woolly mammoths and like
okay.
The only thing they haven't been able to prove yet is that they had a written form of communication. So maybe they just hadn't gotten there yet, and they all died. But yeah, that's my little like blurb. So I'll probably be talking about this with anyone who will listen for the next like 3 weeks before I get bored of it and forget all about it.
Okay.
Next, since we already brought up dinosaurs, what are your thoughts on dinosaurs?
What about them?
Just in general. Like, do you think about them much?
Well, around the grandkids quite often, because they all went through their dinosaur phase.
Phase.
Yeah.
Do you think
I guess
there's
the kids
anything?
did too,
When did the dinosaurs go extinct?
67 million years ago, something like that.
So a long time.
Yeah. Again, the fossil record indicates and shows that they did exist.
Right. At some point.
There's no question in my mind about that. Of course, through the geologic type of research that they can find, it's the asteroid, the meteor that hit.
Do you think the
Great
Yucatan Flood?
Huh?
Do you think like the Great Flood?
Like the biblical Great?
Wait, that would be way after.
No, that would have caused flooding in certain areas.
Right.
But if you're talking about the biblical flood, like Noah,
that would have been after the dinosaurs were extinct. No?
Well, yeah.
I don't know the timeline
Yeah,
here.
Based upon the timeline of things, yeah. But again, the biblical flood is something that you also have to. Okay, you went to O'Gorman High School, and you had theology classes, and you were taught theology sometimes by priests, right? Mm-hmm. And at Creighton, all of my theology classes were taught by Jesuits, by priests. And, to me, it was always interesting to talk and listen and, have these discussions with regard to that. But, the biblical flood wasn't necessarily, the whole world
It was just
underwater.
a certain area.
It was a certain area where the population of the people were,
But I thought there was like legitimate evidence of like most of the world being underwater at some point.
Well, at some point in time, yeah, there wasn't, any or much of any type of a landmass, but that was
Pangea.
again before something came out of the primordial ooze, and and life started to form.
I got you. Pangea.
Or no, Pangea's supercontinent.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
Well, no, you're talking about the whole world being land.
Underwater. Yeah. Huh.
So
interesting.
So yeah, it's you're making me a little nervous over here because I'm gonna have to eventually face the
contact mom.
Yes, she's go. What do you mean by that? Well,
have we said everything legitimate?
Oh no.
What do we say that's hearsay?
No, we're not going into that.
I just know just one thing. Is there something we said that's hearsay?
That Adam and Eve are like fiction.
No, I didn't say they're fictional. There's like a difference between fact and truth. Like there's truth to it, but it's not necessarily a fact that God said. Like at some point, he gave a man and a woman a soul. And then that's where the rest of us came from. But not necessarily were they the only two humans that were alive at one time, right?
Depends on what your beliefs are.
Mom looks confused. She's going to like talk to a priest now.
If you've got to go back, if you're going to read the Bible and you read Genesis.
Yeah, but there's like in the Bible, right? They like use parables. It's the same thing. It's a parable.
Jesus does in the New Testament, after his birth, but not so much in the Old Testament.
Well, okay, in the Bible they say that the entire world flooded, and you're now saying that the entire world did not flood.
And that's where you would interpret the world as they knew it, because it wasn't until when people started to build ships and say, I think if we can get to the west by sailing to the east, or
well, they also
if I
thought
said
the
it the other direction,
flat.
West to go to the east. So
I don't know. I still think I'm right.
Well,
I'll contact my priest about this. We'll talk it out.
Well, but that's the, it's like you mentioned several times now the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. It's because it's like the only other creation story I know.
What do you know about open versus closed universe?
Never heard of it.
Okay. Well, there's a line of thought that if there's enough mass in our universe that the explosion called the Big Bang, things start to expand eventually. That expansion stops, and if there's enough mass, it contracts back in upon itself.
Oh, and like a black hole.
Just be patient, kiddo, okay? And contracts in upon itself again, and boom, another Big Bang. So this could be just one of many evolutions of the universe.
Okay, but I don't think that's biblical. Because God said that he would never destroy the earth again.
I'm not talking biblical right now.
Oh.
I'm talking about your general understanding of the creation of the universe. Okay,
no, I like that theory.
Going back to some of the teachings. Maybe I shouldn't say the teachings of the Jesuits, because it could have been just this one particular
teaching of this Jesuit
of this Jesuit in that class, and he talked about the different types of gods, the almighty, all-knowing, powerful. But I want to say one idea or one thought is the clockmaker God, that God created the heavens and the earth. Well, that meant that he created he created helium and hydrogen and carbon and all of those kinds of things. And then Big Bang, he let everything
Just go as it
go
will.
as it would.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, well, that's something to me that when I heard that and was able to listen and ask questions and things like that, that answered a lot of my
Not gonna.
questions that I had in terms of, okay, there's only one way to look at it.
No, I agree. See, like I heard at once. I would think I was at like a conference, and someone was talking, and they said you can believe in whatever. Like
I hope you pressed record.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
I think. They said
Maybe
that
not,
like
maybe not.
you can believe whatever creation story you want as long as you believe that it was all part of God's plan.
Right.
So like,
Good way
and
of
he
putting
was
it.
like, if you want to believe in the Big Bang Theory, great. Like, I think that's way cooler that he said, watch me snap my fingers, and over time, like, this all develop.
Mm-hmm.
But I still am. Mom, can you hit the button again? Just the red button on the top. Oh, the card is full. That's unfortunate. Never mind. All right, we had a little technical malfunction, and I don't know what we were talking about. So, yeah, we'll just keep going. Conversation ended. Well, still kind of going on human nature. Do you think humans are innately scared of certain things, like snakes or spiders? Or do you think it's a learned fear?
This makes a lot of noise, just so you know.
Like
Yes.
if there's a baby and you like threw a snake at it, do you think it would be like scared?
No.
So it's not innate.
Depends on at what point in time in their development that took place.
But do you think, okay, explain that.
Okay. I think that at some point in time, your mother, maybe even you, and for sure your little sister, observed somebody overreacting
To a tick.
to a tick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I almost got
but-
burnt by a hot iron because Mom threw a straightening iron at me because she found a tick on her head.
Yeah. So that's something that I think is learned, because at some point in time she probably came across a tick and didn't know what that was. Mom, what's this? For example, I don't know if this is what actually happened. Mom, what's this? Yeah, okay. What am I? That's a tick. So in
Mom
other
just
words, a
flipped you
baby, if you're,
Mom just flipped you off.
Yeah.
Movie recording stopped.
Not the first time.
It's fine. Whatever.
Well,
I'll just post the first one.
post the first and say, hey, we'll figure it out next time.
Figure it out.
But anyway, back to, the baby. You throw a snake at a baby. That sounds horrible.
Well, don't do that. I'm not condoning that.
Yeah, don't. But I don't like if something, you're gonna play with a little furry animal and then it bites you. Okay, then that's obviously
wouldn't
learned,
be
not innate. Huh? That would not be innate.
Right.
Yeah.
So you think we are innately scared of snakes and spiders?
No.
I'm pretty sure you said yes.
No, I'm saying depending upon the developmental
Right.
age
It's
of
like
that.
developed,
because
but it's
you
not
have,
innate.
Okay, but when is the age of reason?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, when do you
6, 7?
when do you start to?
7? Really?
I think that's,
I feel like it's younger than
I think
that.
it's depends on the.
It's probably 7 for you.
You get first communion in
Oh.
second grade,
Okay,
and that's in the age of reason.
that's the Catholic teaching, so and it's in the Catechism. So, but that's not. It's not going to be the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to, until you question. It's like if you would go through developmental psychology, okay, when you start to play with a baby, okay, and you hold up a whatever, a blanket in front of you, peekaboo, right? Okay. At some point when you probably first start playing peekaboo with a baby, that baby thinks you're gone.
Yeah.
Okay, because you disappeared. You're gone. Well, then you drop the blanket and here I am, that kind of thing. Okay. The first time that happens, they're like, okay, well, this is cool, but, I'm thinking baby thoughts.
Thinking
here.
as a baby,
You do it again. Oh my God, they're gone again. How long does it take for them to realize and reach and
Not
pull the
actually.
blanket down
Yeah.
because they know from past experience that you're behind that blanket? Okay, so.
I do just want to say I did fact checked it, and it does say that it is 7.
She's flipping us off
She
again.
is middle finger happy. I don't think that's
Yeah.
Catholic.
Yeah, you just went to confession last week.
Better go again.
I flipped off my husband and my daughter repeatedly.
Okay, so I feel like you haven't
Answered
just
your
yes
question.
or no. I feel like you're leaning no.
No, you said, is it, here's the problem.
Is it innately?
Or not, is what you said.
Did I say or not?
Yeah, you asked a question that I answered yes. Because
it was or not.
it's
Not
both.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the way you answered it, if I couldn't have said yes or no.
That's my
Yeah.
whole. Well, then maybe it wasn't a yes or no question.
Well, do I think that, behaviors or being afraid of something is innate? I said up to a point of understanding and of reason, it is not innate. Because if a child starts to, like I said, plays with a little furry critter, a little bunny comes up to a baby, and the baby,
bites it.
yeah, until that something happens that the baby's going to be scared of it, something's going to happen. It might be a sudden move. I don't know. It could be, rabbit bite, whatever the case is. But I just don't think that. Now, if you're talking in the wild, I think that things in the wild, deer, whatever, rabbits.
Right, they're born
That-
with instinct.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. Humans are different, I think, in terms of their behavior. But I think that
But humans are born with instinct too. Like they know to drink
to
milk.
survive,
Right, but that's all like what animal is they're just
do
They have survival
do
instincts.
they?
like they don't have reason, right? So like is our survival instinct to be somewhat cautious at least of animals that like in evolution have caused harm to us.
But how if?
Oh shit. I'm like being real loud today.
Yeah, but the question is, I think the deeper question is that something that humans are born with? That's what
That's
you're
what I'm
asking.
saying.
Yeah.
Or is
And-
it taught?
Yeah.
Nature versus nurture.
Yeah, I think that in humans, there's a lot more teaching that has to occur than, say, in deer.
It's an interesting thing to think of.
It is.
Maybe I should have researched some of this before I like this though. I like this conversation.
Well, it's, yeah, and I don't think necessarily what you think is wrong, even if it might be different than me, but because I'm getting the vibe that you think it's all innate. That,
No, I'm just asking questions.
Oh,
I don't know. Like I have no idea. I'm just playing devil's advocate
Okay.
because like some people just like aren't really scared of those things. So did they just like overcome those fears, or did they just like genetically not have them, or do other people genetically, are they like genetically wired to be more cautious, or is it like personality, or is it
Or they can't control their overdramatic reaction to and throw
hot irons at their
hot
children.
irons at their children for that.
Yeah, it happens. Be careful, children.
I bet you that finger's gonna fly again here pretty soon.
She's thinking it.
Yep. But anyway, I think it's like snakes. Okay, I don't mind snakes being around.
See, and I hate snakes, but
Well,
spiders, I don't mind spiders.
Yeah, well, it all depends on whether I see the snake first or the snake sees me first. You know, I've been known to chase a snake with the lawnmower, but it's because that son of a gun scared the hell out of me, you know. But if I see him off, you know, doing something else, I'll just mow around him, you know.
Yeah, I don't do snakes.
So,
Not a snake
hey,
person.
I'd rather a snake eat a mouse than a mouse get in the house without the snake, you know, being around.
Yeah, I don't even care if the snake's not poisonous. Like, me and that snake, I respect its space as long as it respects my space.
Yeah,
It's kind of like sharks.
it's a net.
Like, you stay on your side of the ocean, I will stay on mine. Actually, I don't really even go in the ocean. I'll stay in my lakes, you stay in the ocean, and we are just fine.
Well, you're pretty safe bet.
Yeah, pretty good. We're good like that.
Yeah, well, sharks anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snakes, not so much.
Yeah.
Snakes, it's always a question.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to dinosaurs, though. Like, do you think that scientists have, like, depicted them correctly? Like, how they look? Because I can't even imagine that they are, like, even remotely close. Like, have you ever seen a skeleton of a, like, owl? There's, like, nothing there.
You can kind of extrapolate what they look like and the build and the muscle mass based upon the bones. And you know, when you study anatomy and physiology, a muscle's going to have to be, you know, if their femur is so long and, you know, their tibia is so long, then a muscle relatively this size is going to have to be connected to be able to make it to move, you know. So I think that when you see a skeleton of whatever, Triceratops, T-Rex, whatever the case is, I think what muscular they look like has got to be pretty accurate. But I think the things where they are, you know, it's artistic license is, you know, what colors were they?
What about,
did
like,
the skin?
fat content?
Well, again, thinking of birds as an example, you know, they were cold-blooded, right? Dinosaurs?
Are they all?
Were they
I thought some of
warm-blooded?
them were mammals. No mammals?
I don't
Did
think.
they all lay eggs?
And they didn't have hair.
Do we know they didn't have hair?
Well, there's some pretty good, I think,
Like
fossil
frozen?
record of, I don't know about frozen, but I know
Like the woolly mammoth
imprints,
was frozen.
Yeah, imprints on you know, like lake beds or whatever, where it's
Right.
And I don't think, because like didn't they find actual feathers on like a Triceratops fossil someplace, imprints of a feather? So they are thinking that that's one of those transitional reptiles. So, but no, I don't think they were mammals.
But like a T-Rex was cold-blooded. They were all reptiles. There was no mammals.
Well, that's why, you know, in different eras in our Earth geologic history, there is the age of mammals, age of reptiles.
This is gonna be my next deep dive. I'm gonna listen to podcasts about dinosaurs. Like I'm 5 years old.
You know, the eggs, just like
Well, I knew some of them had eggs because I did watch Dinosaur Train.
like you know, birds roost on their nest to keep the eggs warm. Well, they, I think, hypothesize that they like turtles or
they like buried them.
Yeah. Like
Didn't they find
alligators.
a dinosaur egg?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have, or the remnants of a nest. Yeah,
Interesting.
but
That'll be our next podcast topic.
Yeah.
Come back for Catherine and Greg to talk about dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah. You know, I think there are things that are, you know, modern day pretty close
Dinosaurs.
relatives.
Like the blue whale. Not blue whale.
That's
Humpback
a
whale?
mammal.
Okay, but it's huge.
Well, yeah, but a
Like a...
modern day dinosaur would be like a crocodile or an alligator.
Okay, that's fair.
Reptilian.
I was thinking like size-wise.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's glued to her
That was-
phone. Done.
That was not a smart comment. My bad.
That's okay. That's okay.
Anyways, next
But-
question.
But I would have to do some research on this, but it seems to me I remember hearing that there are like organisms in the sea that were around at the time that the dinosaurs were. Of course, you got the Loch Ness Monster but like the coelacanth was thought to be long extinct, and they go fishing for them off the coast of Africa, and it's like, well, where are you going to go? Oh, we're going to go catch this fish. And it's like, oh my God, this has been extinct for,
It's like the dire
for thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. Dude, no, it's not. We go fishing for them every third Tuesday of the month or something like that,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So.
Megalodon?
Yeah. What about
You
the shark?
believe it exists or existed?
I think there's a fossil record of it, isn't there? We're talking about the
Like the
huge
giant,
shark.
yeah. I feel like they've maybe found like teeth, but I
Yeah.
don't think they have anything else.
Maybe. Well, again, if you find something in the fossil record, you have to, in some way, shape, or form, explain it.
Right.
It's again, David and Goliath. Okay, biblical.
Right.
There's several references to, the group of people that were giants.
Right.
They were all, 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall.
I don't think they actually say a height in the Bible.
I don't think so either, but I think there is actually a unit of measure.
It's like cubic?
Yeah, well, cubit.
Cubit. There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't think they say how tall he is.
Well,
Maybe everyone else was just midgets. You don't
Goliath
know.
was a big dude, evidently,
Or he was average size and everyone else was small.
or David was really small.
Well, David just seems like a small guy.
Ooh, not my brother Dave.
That's fair.
Brother Dave's a big guy, big strong man.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing with like natural history animals.
Mm-hmm.
This will be our last topic.
Oh no, that's fine. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking to make sure
so we're
that
at
you
like
unpaused
55
us.
minutes. I did. Would be like, so humans have really like, if you think about it, with animals, we've like shuffled the deck several times. Like we are taking animals from places and putting them places and like taking them back out of places or trying to and putting them new places. And like for a long time.
Your next question is going to be, what is my thought about zoos?
How did you know?
Well, I know you.
Okay, that's
Catherine.
not my question, but I do have it on here. Is what
Okay.
are your thoughts on the ethics of zoos? But I didn't think
Okay.
we were going to get that far. But no, that's not my question right now.
Okay.
So we've like shuffled animals a lot, right? And we haven't really like,
And
for
you're-
a while
and
we
you're
didn't.
talking physically. You're
I'm
not,
like
because we've
physical
also
animals.
shuffled genomes.
Yeah, no. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm talking about like animals. So like the turkey, right? The turkey is like one of the only species that was native to America that is like considered a like grocery food now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like a grocery meat. And so like they took the turkeys from America. I'm pretty sure they took them back to Europe. Like whatever, what's the word? Whatever made them so that they're like the white fluffy farm turkeys.
Domesticated.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And then like brought those back here, right? But like we've got African animals in Texas now. Like, and we just kind of like threw animals all over the place.
Well, okay, but now,
I haven't even gotten my question yet, but
okay,
no,
Go ahead.
tell
No,
me
go
your
ahead.
thought.
No.
No, tell me your thought.
When I was a kid, little kid, and I watch Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, and did you ever see that? No. So see, anyway,
Sounds interesting though. Is it black and white?
yeah, some of them were, yeah. when I watched them, I guess it was. Anyway, Marlon Perkins and Jim. Oh goodness, I'll have to think of him. But anyway, okay, back when I was that age, little kid, watching Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom, you'd see a hippo or a rhino, in its native area in Africa, and there'd be these little white birds, like sitting on their backs, Okay. Well, guess what? Those little white birds, which were in Africa, are now you could be driving down the road and see one sitting on a cow.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
How'd they get over here?
Okay, that's the question. And they migrate.
They flew?
Yeah.
Over the ocean?
Oh, they basically got caught up into a thermal or a part of the jet stream or whatever, and they were going one way, and then all of a sudden the prevailing winds took them a different direction. So they thought they were landing, say, in northern Europe, and nope, they crossed the Atlantic and ended up in Texas.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's also like plenty of animals
Yeah, that they literally physically
that we've literally
picked up.
moved.
Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to think. Well, I mean, this isn't really a great example, but like elk have moved a lot, not by necessarily human intervention, but like their natural where they inhibited before we took over.
Inhibited,
Same thing. I'm trying to think of a good example, like hogs. Like there's I don't remember exactly how this happened, but pretty much there was like hogs. How we got the feral hog is, I want to say it was Canada. This could totally be fake, and someone just told me it, and I believed. I don't think it was Canada. Maybe it was Canada. I don't know. Somewhere. It doesn't matter where. I think it was Canada. They had just a bunch of hogs, like farm hogs. And then there was like something caused, I really should have better information about this, but I wasn't planning on talking about this. Something caused, I don't know if it was like they had too many and they couldn't sell them, or it was like they all had a bunch of diseases and they didn't want to have to like kill them all off. So they basically just like opened the gates and like let them go. And then they eventually, like through evolution, became like these really tough, like will not die and just reproduce like rabbits.
Well, yeah, and some of the ideas behind that is that the genetics reverted back,
Right.
So in other words, that domestication took place and they were
They went back to
crossbred
being
for
feral.
better meat and everything else like that. Well, then the genes start to revert back and survival of the fittest.
Anyways, my question with this is, how do you think the natural world would look different if we didn't mess with animals as much as we did?
Okay. So, in other words, if people didn't load boats up with food to make big trips across the ocean and those kinds of things, how would it look? I mean, given what are the variables that we're not taking into account? If humans aren't part of it and animals were just left to be on the continents, what would happen? What would...
No, I think...
I mean, you can't have...
It's a very open-ended question.
Well, it is, and it's hypothetical primarily because you're going to have some crossover, like birds that are migrating are going to get lost.
Yeah.
If you talk about the Bering Land Bridge, okay, you've got animals that, have come across that land bridge from Russia, Mongolia, China, and made it into North America. Just the same.
I feel like I should have explained this better. I'm talking more of like the invasive species that humans brought. So like, I think there's 53,000 invasive species that are considered invasive now, and like 3,700 of them are considered like damaging.
Okay, so are you talking like the zebra mussels getting carried in the ballast tanks of ships?
Yeah, like
And
that, or just like things that we have like legitimately released to try to fix other problems that have caused more problems.
Okay, so we're talking insects too. In
Yeah,
that
like
particular
any
case.
of these things that we're like, oh, this is a great idea. Let's do this. And we put them out where now they don't have any natural predators and they're just taking over everything. Do you think, well, obviously the natural world would look a lot different.
Well,
I don't know what this question...
There would be one insect that I know that you are not very fond of that wouldn't
The
be here now.
ladybug, the Asian beetle.
Yeah, the Asian beetle.
Those
Because
Asian beetles.
I can't remember if it was
Who brought them here?
purple loosestrife or if it was leafy spurge or
Did they do
whatever.
it to fix an issue, or did they just say, "Oh, it'd be fun"?
I think it ate something. I don't know. Maybe it was something that they got brought over
On accident.
But yeah, snakes weren't on Hawaii.
I know. Did you know Hawaii also doesn't really have mosquitoes?
Well,
or
I know,
used to not have mosquitoes? They might have them now.
Yeah, well, different parts, the arid. I mean, and I've never lived in California, but I've visited California quite frequently. I mean, Stacy even mentioned that the last time I was there. It's like, we've never had mosquitoes, and I've got bit by mosquitoes this year. So, so I think that's just kind of it's fun to talk about. Gee, it'd be nice if all of these things wouldn't have happened, but they have. You can't. Pandora's box has been opened with that.
They say that like Alaska is one of the only places that still has one of the most natural animal populations.
Okay, but is it natural only from Alaska? Because that's, again, the Bering,
Well, I'm saying, like, humans haven't introduced species. Like, I'm not saying, like, when the Earth was created, this is the animals that was in Alaska. I'm saying, like, by natural evolution and natural...
migration. And
migration,
things more so
yeah.
than
Like, I'm not
evolution,
saying,
I don't
like...
think that,
Yeah. Because, obviously, like, the woolly mammoth probably evolved into an elephant. But you don't find elephants in Russia. That's just me throwing that out there. It could be totally wrong, and I haven't fact checked it. But they just look the same, so.
It's but genomic. Speaking of their genes, their genome, they're different. They're a different animal.
Do you know which animal today has the most similar genome to dinosaurs? It's the chicken.
Well, yeah, I thought that was too obvious. Did I say that earlier? I think we could go back into the podcast and I said something about birds. Maybe I didn't say chicken.
I think you said birds. It's the chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, everything tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken. Even alligator tastes like chicken. Yeah. Well, yeah. Then I was going to ask about, like, what are your thoughts on the ethics of zoos, but that gets into a whole nother conversation. And then So we'll save that. We'll save that one and my other question.
What's the other question that you're going to save?
What's your favorite unsolved mystery in history? Oh, it rhymes. Do you have one?
No, we're going to talk about that later. I just wanted to be able to
prepare.
Know what.
I've got one. Also another one that I kind of deep dived on and have thought about a lot.
Unsolved mystery.
Anyways, that's all for today, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed our rambling and our random side topics.
I hope you could follow us.
Mom was confused and she was here.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I'm glad I got to talk about my Neanderthals. That's really the only reason I wanted to do
I think
this.
we need to make sure that, there's a disclaimer here that none of what we talked about
has been fact checked.
We are not, philosophers. We're not doctors. We're not
priests.
We're just two. Now since I live here now, we're just two South Dakotans. Two South Dakotas just shooting the breeze, don't you know?
That's Minnesota.
Go downtown. No.
Downtown.
You guys got that going for you here too. Go downtown, don't you know?
Don't you know?
That's a Minnesota. Don't you know's a Minnesota.
Don't you know?
But, yeah.
It's like Jeet.
Jeet?
you know,
Cheat yet?
Cheat yet?
Yep.
Did you eat yet? The next podcast is actually going to be about the ethics of zoos and favorite unsolved mystery, and we're just going to make fun of Minnesotan accents.
We could also make fun of bear fans.
All right. That is a low blow.
Now are we hitting?
I am not over it yet. Actually, let's talk about it for a second. I think I'm going to be a Bills fan this year.
Oh, you and
no,
AJ.
no.
I'm going to be like my big brother
Pause,
AJ.
pause.
Okay.
I said it first because I like Josh Allen. Got a big crush on Josh Allen.
What's with you and your sister and crushes on quarterbacks?
I mean, I got a
Even
really,
Mesa
really
had
big
it.
crush on Nate, but I got a big crush on Josh Allen. It's not even really a crush. I just think he's such a good person. Like, from what I've seen, he's funny. He's, like, super laid back. He, like, is always giving praise to his teammates, not on himself.
He seems so wholesome in the commercials I've
He
seen him in.
does seem
Yeah,
so
yeah.
wholesome. Who knows? You don't really know anyone. But, like, coaches have nothing but good things to say about him, teammates. Anyways. But the Bears... Yeah, actually. We don't need to get into that. It's a hot mess. It's like a dumpster fire inside a cow slaughterhouse. They're not even like... I can say this because I'm a Bears fan. They suck. They're not even, like, competitive.
Well, you know...
Like, they might be the worst team in the league.
I'm a Vikings fan, but... and I'm not a Chris Collinsworth fan, the commentator for Sunday Night Football,
Yeah.
but he made a really great point. The Vikings are 8 quarters into the season, and they played one good quarter. The fourth quarter against the Bears is enough to win.
That's what we're talking about, but thanks for the
Yeah,
comment.
thanks for the input. But the
Yeah, the
but-
Vikings against the Bears. And then you said against the Vikings.
shh, and then the poor Bears, the Lions got beat by the Packers, and
that game was-
the Lions were
buckets.
PO'd.
They came out
And the
with
Bears just
vengeance.
happened to be the next game. Yeah, so
Gosh.
I feel bad for the Bears. I think
not
I
good.
still think the Bears are going to be a good team.
I don't know. I don't think Caleb Williams is... He is the opposite of Josh Allen. He's full of himself. He thinks his bleep don't stink.
These comments don't necessarily represent the
I-
ideas and the thoughts of the Unbroken Arrows podcast. These are Catherine's thoughts.
This is
that-
Catherine. This is just Catherine's thoughts. And if
Yeah.
Caleb Williams ever listens to this, I'll actually be like more impressed that he's listening to our podcast. So
There you go.
I wouldn't even feel bad because I am a Bears fan. I just think he needs to like figure himself out.
The
Colston Loveland though, big fan.
The what?
Colston Loveland,
I don't know who that
tight
is.
end.
Huh?
Tight end
Tight
for the
end.
Bears.
I think that in general, whether it's a quarterback in the NFL or someone you work with or just someone you know.
We should be nice.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the people that people that we respect and we look up to are kind of like you're talking about Josh Allen. They appear to be wholesome and, honest and straightforward and those kinds of things, and that's a good thing to strive for.
I think
So-
Caleb Williams has a lot of potential. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I think he could be really good.
And I think J.J. McCarthy can be really good.
I
but I'm not,
like J.J. McCarthy.
I'm
Poor
not-
guy's always injured though.
well, he hasn't been injured yet, but if they...
I thought he was out for like 2 weeks.
No,
Are you sure about that?
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was injured.
no.
Fact check.
Fact checking. You're thinking Joe Burrow.
No, I thought
He's out
J.J.
for like
McCarthy.
3 months.
Yeah, I know, because he's got turf toe.
And Aaron Jones is out for at least 3 or 4 weeks. We are really digressing on our...
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy injury.
Look at the date.
5 hours ago, Desmond Ryder beat out another QB in Vikings tryout after J.J. McCarthy injury. 5 hours ago.
Oh, so it happened at practice?
I don't know when it happened, but he is out for like 2 weeks or something.
Desmond Ritter.
I don't know, never even heard of that guy.
Desmond Ritter was the quarterback for the University of Cincinnati, and then he went to, was he Atlanta? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't look that hard.
Hmm.
Ankle injury 2 hours ago. Injury update.
Well, what
Yeah,
a way to end the
now you know.
podcast.
Now you know. Quarterback suffered an ankle sprain in the Week 2 loss versus the Falcons. Falcons.
Yeah, we lost to the Falcons.
I didn't watch that game. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Now you know. Feel pretty, I know more football than you. Anyways, thanks for listening to the podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please come back next week for our zoos and mysteries and probably more football talk because I've actually been paying attention to this year. So, as always, get outside, get outdoors, and enjoy the healing power of nature.
Very
Amen.
well put. And if you or someone you know is struggling, call 988. The world's a better place with you in it.
Amen.
There are ways and places that you can get assistance, help if you need it. Take that step.
Outro music.
On behalf of Catherine and me. Bye.